you do record on me, do you let me know?
Hello? Sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. We just have to come really close.
Okay, fine.
So, just shout at the...
Test. See, look at the... Okay, this is quite good, isn't it?
Yeah. So hopefully it should be okay. I don't know how it's going to pick up. We can just there. Alright, so picks and bans are done here. Do you have anything to say about this? And actually, you might want to introduce ourselves. My name is Daniel Chan, and this is Benny. Benny is our Monte Crystal in the house for UCL. He's got all the rotations, all the strats to lay down on us, so I'm hoping to hear some really interesting information from you today.
I hope so. tons of puns. It's going to be good. I think the most scary thing
You got the freak jokes as well.
Right. Here we're going to see the UCL team. They're looking for a sort of mobility comp. They want to basically pick their fights and engage, disengage, and re-engage when they want to. That's going to be really crucial against a champion like Katarina, who wants an all-in. She really wants a lot of chaos.
Yeah, and I worry about this Katarina pick here, because you've got the Leona, you've got the Kennen, and the Lee Sin and Ari, and all have CC to cancel her out. So it's going to be so crucial for Katarina to land that clutch out right at the perfect moment when CC is down.
We're looking on the blue team, UCL, they're looking for that late game as well. Ezreal isn't going to be very strong early game. I've got a feeling he's going to go blue build Ezreal.
Right.
And that's going to take a long time to get into it. I did tell him to go blue build Ezreal.
Oh, right.
I'll be honest.
Okay.
And,
they're going to remake the game because they failed to swap.
okay, no worries.
Oh my god, alright. So we're remaking the game. But let's talk about this Fizz pick for a second here. What do you think about this Fizz in the jungle? I mean, have you played it? Have you seen it much very often? I mean, it's been played a few times in LCS.
Yeah.
Like, what are the pros and cons of this pick here?
Fizz jungle is scary, and it's a flavor of the month really that's been picked up a lot in solo queue, a lot in the professional scene. Fizz jungle relies on, you can get a lot of DPS down with those auto attacks. Okay, there goes the lobby.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of scary early game and late game. There's not a lot of counterplay to Fizz, as a lot of people will tell you. Yeah, we'll go back into the lobby now. Trust me, you wouldn't believe it.
No, I'm just saying the LoL interface. Why can't you just group as teams and then just put them together?
That's a good point.
They don't have a solution.
Does Dota have a solution? Are you a Dota? Strive.
It's not bad.
They don't have ranked players.
Oh, really?
Let's put on music then.
It's very casual. And the matchups are really silly.
The whole point, who was that team that he was like, Will, sounds like I'm sitting there
Hello? Hello? Okay.
That's the same pop filter I have.
That was it.
Yeah, it's nice. But they've got this really nice microphone.
Completely is expensive.
Damn, man.
Okay, so we got a 3-minute wait now. So what did you think about IEM when GE Tigers lost to World Elite?
Oh.
And if anyone doesn't know yet, spoilers, IEM yesterday, World Elite beat GE Tigers. The 12th ranked Chinese team in LPL beat the first ranked team in Korea. Unbeaten in 10 games.
And now TSM are in the final against them.
I mean, what's your thoughts here? Do you think WE or TSM going to win here?
TSM. You got
TSM?
TSM. T.
How many TSM fans are here, by the way?
Yay! All one of them! Way! Brilliant.
I personally hate TSM, so I really hope I really hope they
won't.
lose to World Elite.
Are we watching that later? Are we going to watch the game? Or?
I don't think we're a bit behind, so I don't think we're going to watch it.
We'll get it up somewhere.
Yeah. Did you watch the games?
No, I haven't been able to watch it.
They just went full C9 tilt mode.
Yeah. C9 lost both games.
They lost straight away. They just went complete tilt. It was really bad. Do you have any Dua stories to share with us?
What, for this?
Yeah, I just like stories that you can tell.
I think
What's the 3 minutes?
in your first LAN experience, as these guys are going to have, it can be pretty daunting. You know, like for those who don't realize, when you play this competition, you're literally sitting opposite the people you're playing against. Like they can hear everything you're saying. So sometimes when I played a tournament for one of the UCL teams, you'll be saying like dragon, 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 and you're like, wait, shit, they can hear us, and then you're like, oh no. So it's going to be quite scary for them.
None of the sneaky plays.
You know, you're on laptops that you're not used to as well. You know, I'm a Mac player, so when you're given laptops you're not used to, it's quite difficult to adjust sometimes. So hopefully they're all comfortable on on the lovely PCs being provided by MSI. And KCL 1-0 up in the series. Really hope. No cheering for KCL, not allowed. We're really hoping that UCL can bring one back, the home team here. Technically, UCL are at the ELO disadvantage. We have some very well-esteemed players on the KCL side. Keeper of Lawless. The Katarina mid is actually Diamond 2. I think the highest ELO in the game. We're going to see a lot of action around the mid lane. That's going to be real crucial for KCL to be pushing that advantage and try and get Katarina snowballing. I think, meanwhile, we also have a favoured matchup in the bot lane for UCL. And Ezreal isn't a strong starter, but if they manage to delay the game long enough, I think UCL do have the better scaling team. About to jump into the game here. What's the top lane going to be like? Sion's always a bit of a wet noodle fight, isn't he?
Well, I'm assuming because the Kennen got picked into the Sion, right?
Yeah.
And Kennen's quite a strong laner. He's obviously got that range. He's got a lot of damage. And you pick him for the tanky stats, right? You pick him for the team fights. You know that crazy zoning potential from him, and I think he should do pretty well in the lane, right?
And
versus
Kennen doesn't allow Sion to stack armor. Sion really wants to just stack up all that armor, make him into a full tank. But he's not going to be able to. So you can't get that first item Frozen Heart he's going to want to, or he's going to have real trouble in the lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. Cool. So we're going to have normal starting items pretty much across the board.
Yeah. Really standard starts here. No lane swaps so far. Well, the Ezreal is heading mid. Yeah.
I don't think we're expecting a lane swap.
No. And actually, I mean, with the lane swap, it would benefit the Kennen since he can farm from range, right? Whereas the Sion has to go melee.
So, introducing the teams, we have KCL on the red side, on the top side of the map, and UCL on the blue bottom side of the map.
Oh, and it looks like UCL are trying to do a bit of cheese here. They're all coming into this bush. Will KCL fall for it?
Scrubby's around the corner. He doesn't quite know what he's about to get himself into.
Yeah, they have
and
no
vision.
He's
Scrubby
going in.
hasn't seen
Will he
yet.
catch him? He's going to catch him. He's not looking. This is going to be first blood to UCL!
Wow.
What just happened?
An electric start to the game.
Where was Scrubby looking? He didn't even walk away when he saw the Leona.
And notice that And notice how there wasn't actually a ward, your standard ward in the bush, which you do power level 1 to try and spot those invades. Red team with no ward on the river, apart from top side, and that cost them.
And this is going to be really bad because Ezreal got the first blood, and now he's going to come back into lane with the longsword. He's got the extra damage for the laning against the Sivir, and he's going to be really able to poke this out.
He wants to rush the Muramana now.
Yeah.
And he's going to be one step closer.
Yeah, so now, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's up to the Ezreal and Leon to really push their advantage here. They've got the gold, they've got the advantage, and if they don't make use of it, then they will fall off.
Absolutely. Standard starts coming here. Jungler's going to start at Krugs and Grump respectively. Bot lane going to help it, and we come into our featured matchup, which is the mid lane. It's going to have the most action. We're expecting a lot of jungle pressure on mid lane, and we're going to stick the camera there for a long time.
Yeah, and I mean, going into the late game, I feel that KCL's team is a lot more, they've got that burst potential. Ooh. Not to mention the Sivir. The Sivir ulti is just so strong in the late game that you're able to mow down any team. There is no getting away with it. And paired with the Janna, I mean, how are you going to ever get away?
We're looking at Riziki taking quite a lot of poke in the bot lane. Lands it back onto Donut Mini, but... And again in the mid lane, both lanes taking a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Cham slipping in those autos between. Impressive play.
Yeah, absolutely. And Riziki here forced to burn the red pot early. He's really taking a lot of those cues from the Sivir. And looking into the mid lane, and Ari lands the charm. Ooh.
That was a great charm, and you see there, that's a bunch hitting level 2 just before your opponent. Able to get full rotation in before backs off.
Oh, Leona engages on the Sivir. He's not even getting much over there. Ezreal is pretty far behind, and the Janna shield does protect the Sivir quite well.
Sivir is zoning 1v2 here. It's a spell shield. It really negates how much Leona can do that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at Leona early, she can't do much on her own, right? Until she gets that level 2, she's only got that one stun, she only goes in, and she doesn't have to back up. Whoa, and now he lands the charm on Katarina. What happened? This auto camera. Oh, Kenin's getting ganked by the Fizz and he gets it.
Yeah, leave the camera. It doesn't what it wants to do. Leave it there and just accept it.
It looks like there's some action going in the bot lane. Oh, Leona jumps in. He gets a stun onto the Janna. Ezreal jumps in. Leona's taking so much damage here. Lee Sin's late to the party. He's going to get the Q. He doesn't land the Q. Oh, and the Sivir gets away.
Duke for days, absolutely. So what we just saw going down there, junglers ganking both the side lanes, but KCL coming out ahead with the only successful gank. Fizz with that kill is really going to go in, but we have Keeper of Lewis just trading some damage.
Yeah, and I think Leona just went in far too early there. Lee Sin was nowhere nearby. They let them know that they were going so aggressive there. Obviously, there was going to be, something's going on here.
They telegraphed the move a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, Lee Sin was so close to getting in that gank, and they could have been a double kill. Ooh. I mean, looking into the mid lane here.
Oh no. Scrubby is hungry for more blood.
Yeah, and he is doing some work. Ari lands the charm. He's so close to getting it.
What we saw there was Katarina really wanted to try and bait actually Ari to go in because he knew he had Scrubby nearby, but diced quite close with death, and it was a very close call. Shampo's out on.
And
you're looking,
and you noticed there that Ari didn't have the ignite. She must have burnt it earlier on her all-in, and it meant that she wasn't able to get the kill there.
Exactly.
Looking at the summoners, actually, Katarina still has both of her flash and ignite, so it looks like Ari is a summoner down, and there's a lot lower kill pressure. I'm not sure.
Katarina really wasn't in danger there because she didn't have the flash. It was a bit risky. It's going to force her to back out, and she's actually going to get the wave pushed in mid. We're looking at CS. Ari is ahead on CS, just slightly. Pretty much even, actually.
Yeah, the gold is very even.
At the 5-minute mark, we're looking at even across the board. The extra kill in lane kind of negates the first blood.
Yeah, and I mean, Scurry, he redeemed himself afterwards after getting the first blood up top on the cannon. And it's going to really help out. Look at the Scion with a giant spell already at 5 minutes. I mean, this is going to be so strong in the lane.
Yeah. Kennen used teleport, but Scion hasn't. But Kennen hasn't. Oh, so Kennen getting ganked there early is really going to put him behind there. He's not going to touch Scion now, and it's going to revert to quite a passive lane in the top lane.
So, looking towards the mid lane, assuming nothing happens for the next 5 or so minutes and it stays like this, who has the advantage when it comes to the first dragon and the first team fight?
Well, we look here.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really important for Ari to land that charm. It sounds stupid, it sounds obvious, but the only reliable CC, the only CC she has on Katarina, and Katarina needs to be locked down. It's a very skill matchup, and I do fear for the UCL mid lane being at a technical slight skill disadvantage. Sorry at the camera.
And oh, Lee Sin here coming from behind his Zion. Zion is so deep. Is he gonna get out of this? Lee Sin comes in, he lands the Q, but Kennen is nowhere nearby. What is the Kennen doing?
Kennen didn't manage to land a stun, and Zion is so tanky. He just went. He just shrugs it off. He just does not care about that.
Yeah.
That's really difficult to make. Oh my god, Katarina with the level 6 didn't choose to ult there.
Yeah, and he had the ignite as well. That would have been a sure kill at mid.
You gotta think, maybe respecting the charm a bit too much.
Yeah, and if we look at this mid liner, this mid matchup, 36 to 47 CS, this Ari is losing really badly to Katarina, which should never happen.
No. Lee Sin, bit behind actually to the Fizz in experience. I'm guessing it's from the early
and this
kill.
Fizz is really looking to dive here. I don't know if he's gonna do it.
We're just seeing that Fizz just counter jungling over here. He's actually taken his Wraith. What are they called now?
Right.
They're called something else now, not Wraith.
I have no clue.
Taking the Wraith, denying more farm away from Lee Sin.
Yeah. Oh, and Ari lands a really nice charm there. It's a little bit of poke to Katarina.
I'm surprised. Keeper of Lawless isn't taking much damage. Either she's running very sort of aggressive MR runes, but Keeper of Lawless hasn't been taking a lot of damage here. Sitting on 50 MR with no MR items, so that's...
I mean, the thing is that
That's a full
the
magic
Ari
list
went
rune page.
Forbidden Idol first. He is not getting extra damage from that item. I guess he just didn't have enough gold for the... I forgot what it's called.
Fiendish Codex.
Fiendish Codex.
And Keeper...
Oh!
Oh, wow. Teleport
Sion.
coming in from SE1 Raven.
This
Massive
Leona
go-through.
is going to get caught so hard, he gets caught.
But
Oh,
the
the...
teleport coming in from Kennen, what can he do? No, he cancels it.
Yeah.
He decided.
Yeah. And that was definitely the right decision there. With 3 in the bot lane and Ezreal nowhere nearby, that would have been a very crazy teleport.
I'm finding it painful to watch how little damage that Nikito is able to do.
Oh, Lee Sin's about to get caught by the Fizz in the jungle. Fizz misses the ult though. Can Lee Sin trade on this? Lee Sin is doing some really nice damage
He's
here.
at level 6.
Whoa!
Oh!
No! And he gets the kick.
Level 5 versus level 6.
The 1v1, that was incredible.
The real turning point was missing Chum the Waters. If Chum the Waters lands, the damage amplification would really have changed that fight.
And we're looking at the new Fizz here. What is it, extra 50% damage or something? Yeah, landing that Chum the Waters is so important.
In the bot lane, Riziki staying
Oh, he gets caught out.
staying a bit too long. Still level 5. It was always going to be a tough lane. Sion is giving Kennen none of this.
Yeah, but if we look at the CS, I mean, Kennen is up by 9 CS right now, so it's not too bad.
It is in our mid lane featured matchup that the biggest difference is occurring. A 20 CS lead for Katarina.
Yeah, and this is definitely where this gold lead is going towards for KCL, you know. Actually, it's even.
12.9k each. Just changed now, but I don't think UCL have to be too worried right now. Katarina, whilst she's going to get ahead, they have so much lockdown. 4 out of 5 members of UCL are able to stun Katarina. That's going to be worrying in a team fight, and actually, I would love to see what happens in a full 5v5 team fight.
Yeah,
It's all about the timing of the Katarina. It's all about when she wants to go in.
Yeah.
If she goes in too early, she gets blown up, she gets stunned. That could be detrimental for KCL.
Yeah, and we are at 10 minutes right now, so we are getting close to that first dragon fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something-
Ward's coming down there. They're going to use the Raptor buff to sweep the ward. UCL got vision over it, but Katarina and Fizz looking towards Dragon. Are they going to cut Lee Sin off? They're looking to do it, but...
Something that has been really interesting is this Fizz is constantly invading the jungle, and if we look at the wards here, there are none in the map, on both sides actually. Neither team has very much vision here, and so Fizz he's making these roams that UCL don't know about, but at the same time they're quite dangerous because he doesn't know that they don't have the vision.
Yeah. Interesting choice, different choice of I'm talking, but things are happening in the mid lane.
Ari goes in, Leona comes in. Oh, he forced the flash from the
Charm hit the
Katarina.
minion. A good flash from Katarina.
Very nice roam from the Leona and the bot lane.
She wants more. Gotta be careful there.
Yeah, this Ari is really, I mean, she has basically no mana here, so it's going to be very hard to stay in lane with this.
I was just making the point before, the different choice of smites for the junglers. Lee Sin choosing the chilling smite to try and improve his ganks. Fizz choosing the dueling smite, so he's going to get a lot more 1v1 damage. He might be feeling a bit salty after that 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, well, he had that jungle item for the previous 1v1 actually, so. Oh, Fizz does land the gank onto Ken, and he lets him chomp the water and just blows him up.
Could barely talk fast enough.
Yeah. And Ari is going to get caught out here by the Katarina. Oh, and the Ignite, she will go down to the last tick.
I think she'll just live.
Whoa, and she gets away. Lee Sin finds Fizz in the jungle. Can he take the 1v1? Fizz has no ultimate. Katarina's coming in. Oh! And the Lee Sin gets taken down.
3 kills onto Fizz.
Yeah, and this is not looking good right now for blue side.
Just to recap what happened there, Fizz roaming into the top lane, no wards in the river for Nightfish. He gets caught out with Chum the water this time, gets blown up. In the sort of mid lane river, Lee Sin, Sybil system really thought he could actually do that 1v1. He had happy memories of 1v1ing Fizz. And Katarina just came to make sure that
And in
didn't
fact,
happen
it
again.
wasn't too bad to fight. Lee Sin still had the his ult there, but the problem was definitely communication. Ari should have communicated to the jungle that she had been poked out. There was no way she had any assistance, and Katarina was free to roam.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the big clincher right there.
And we'll see a bit of an experience really coming in here. The UCL team, having not ever played together in a competitive event.
Oh, Ari lands the charm on the Katarina and he gets a little bit of poke on her.
There's no damage.
Yeah.
Should have full rotation and it's a fifth of her health.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And look at the itemization here. Ari still doesn't have that Morellonomicon versus the Katarina's boots and the Haunting Guys.
Yeah. That's painful. That's very painful. 1k gold lead for KCL. It feels worse than that, but
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah. And Leona gets poked, gets caught out here, but actually Leona catches out the Sivir. Sivir's gonna go down.
Incredible
Teleport comes down
flare.
from the top lane. Lee Sin gets, there's 2 fights going on at the same time right now. This Sion teleported into 4 of the blue team and he's on his own. How much can he tank up? UCL have burnt so much and they're really, really low now. They have to back out. Katarina and the rest of the red team are coming in. Leona sacrifices herself and she goes down. And that is the end of the fight. Lee Sin gets out somehow.
Yeah, Cham getting collapsed on there from both sides. Great set of flare. I'm talking, maybe the ring gets...
Whoa, Katarina gets it out off and gets a double kill!
Whirling death from Katarina. Yeah, you know, it's an easy game. It's
And such a really bad call there. They were so low.
it's risky. You know, when you're low against Katarina, it's so risky to do that. They're going to push KCL off the dragon.
Yeah, yeah,
And they're going to get the top lane back, but it's not much comfort for UCL here.
yeah.
They fought for so long, and Sion tanked up so much damage.
Yeah,
They weren't really able to get the fight they wanted, which is what the
Yeah.
whole comp is about, you know? If
Yeah.
Sion stands in the way, they have to try and ignore him and move past him.
and Sion served this role there. He's just this tank to soak up skills, to soak up ultis,
Yeah.
and then let his team roll over. And that's exactly what the Katarina wants.
That was a 45, I have to say that. Kennen wasn't present.
Yeah, oh, Lee Sin catches out Fizz in the jungle and he gets the kill.
That's a great catch. I mean, I don't know if that ward was there before, but he really just had a feeling that Fizz was going to be there.
Yeah,
Placed
yeah.
the ward over, and it's going to allow them to do the first dragon of the game.
Yeah, and we're talking about, we see all these fights so far, and we have to realize that they have no vision whatsoever for both teams.
No.
So, I mean, this is what you expect,
Oh, we got
really.
the pink ward there. I'm just so impressed by that move from Sybil System.
Yeah.
He actually aggressively seeked out the Fizz to make that dragon happen.
Yeah.
1k goal behind, but UCL with the first dragon.
Yeah,
and
and
leave it about even.
Really good comeback right there. And we have to bring that back to the previous fight where KCL stayed too long. They started off the dragon, they had to back off, they were also low. And by the time they had backed and come back into lane, UCL were already there from because they died previously.
That's always the risk of going that far in. We're going to check out the gold right now.
Oh, and then Katarina goes in for the Ari a little bit, misses the charm.
Okay, so just more ward clearing going on.
Yeah.
A lot of action in this game. Let's just look across at the gold, hoping nothing's going to happen now. I think the biggest goal difference definitely in the mid lane.
Oh, no.
That is 1,500 gold worth of stats right there.
Katarina just exploded the Ari. And yeah, and the KCL take the tower as well. They're really pushing their advantage here. This top lane is not safe. Kennen is going to go down to this Fizz gank, and yep.
Yeah,
That's a free kill right there. And it comes back to this vision again. There is literally no vision on that top side.
It's not the first time Nightfish has been caught out without the vision.
Yeah.
Twice he's died to Kenem. Twice, I mean, there is a very well placed pink ward in the top side river for KCL, but twice Nightfish has been caught out. Their hope is the late game now.
Yeah.
I was saying they're only 1,000 gold behind. They're now 3,500. That just swung like that.
And you need to look at this Katarina 4-0 and 0, and what, 50 CS up on her opponent.
Yeah. It's huge. It's 2,000 gold.
Yeah.
It's, you know, she's about to back, and she's probably going to get a large rod. Yep, she's going to pick up a large rod, almost the whole way to Rabadon's.
Yeah, and at 16 minutes with only a Morella and Omicron, this Ahri is not going to do any damage here. She really just needs to farm up. I think the only way back here is you got to play with that vision. KCL getting all these picks, but neither team actually has any vision. All they have to do is ward up jungle, get those picks from the roams. They're really dangerous inherently.
Yeah,
and that's the only way they can come back from this. They can't win these team fights.
UCL have to dig very deep right now if they want a chance of being back in this.
Yeah, and we look at this Sion here. He's got the Randuins, and going late game, no one is going to kill this Sion with a double AP. And right as we say that, Leona jumps in for a
really nice tornado from Janna. I'm not sure Mapadofu wants to go in there. He probably would have got blown up, but better safe than sorry. Donut Mini, timing his tornado very well.
Yeah.
Sion doesn't care the charm lands on him.
Yeah, and I mean, again, this late game is not looking good at all. How does the double AP fight off this super tanky Zion, who is getting really, really strong here? 6 assists already.
Yeah, that's a good game for Sion. UCL really lacking a proper beefy tank like Sion is.
And you just saw the Ahri throw a Q on the Zion and the charm, no damage whatsoever.
Barely broke through the shield.
Yeah.
UCL, they're not going to be able to hold this. If they try and hold it, they're going to get dived. They respectfully back off, and wisely so.
Yeah, and really, they just need to look at this Katarina. They always need to focus this Katarina down. She is the main damage dealer here. And if they want any chance of winning any fights, they have to take her out.
Charm going a bit wayward.
Yeah, maybe predicting the Katarina all-in right there.
Yeah. That's not a bad thing to do.
Rightly so. Katarina could burst them down in less than 1 second.
You say Katarina's damage, but Fizz is so much damage right now as well. 3 kills into Lee Sin is good, but Lee Sin doesn't scale how they want him to.
Yeah.
He can't go in and get blown up.
Yeah.
Denying vision there in the bush.
Not to mention the Sight Zone second item on the Lee Sin. Really, even, weakening his stats even more. And it is a good item. We're seeing this come into the meta a lot more right now for that extra vision, the extra control of the map.
Great jukes from Keeper of Lawless there. Keeper of Lawless is very confident in his ability, obviously. And very happy to stand quite close to Ahri and not get charmed. There we go, got charmed.
Yeah, and look at that charm and Q, no damage whatsoever.
No, not with the Janna shield.
Yeah, and at this point it's just stalling. The only damage they can hope for right now is for this Ezreal to stack up this Manamune and get the Trinity Force, right?
They need KCL to make a big mistake. If KCL overdive and Kenem was to catch a big ultimate, that would be very good for them. Bar that, there's not a lot they're going to be able to do.
Looking at this mid lane, Sion's coming in from the side. Is he going to look for something?
He wants to ult in. Mapadofu was the one who's going to be the target, I reckon.
Yeah, and if he lands any stun whatsoever, that Katarina will blow anyone up straight away.
Side lane's pushing for UCL on the top lane and pushing for KCL on the bot lane.
Yeah, and it does seem that they're waiting up for this dragon. They're not really making any big pushes for any...
They're in ARAM mode, aren't they? Yeah. They're in 5 mids. Everyone's going to square up, and we're going to see what they're going to do. Red team with far superior vision. Really, wards everywhere. Dragon in 1 minute. You got to fancy KCL to take their first dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. And we look at the wards here as well. KCL set up quite nicely. They've got quite good vision around the dragon side.
Yeah.
And UCL have no vision whatsoever. We do see UCL moving in here to clear out some of the wards, and hopefully they can set up for this dragon in 40 seconds. This will be the next big team fight. I think that UCL just leave it. I think they leave it, take the mid turret.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they can't win.
The issue is, so KCL have just backed, so they can buy before dragon. UCL haven't backed. Ahri sitting on 1,200 gold. We've also got Ezreal sitting on 1,300 gold. UCL have to back now. If they try and fight this dragon, it's going to go so wrong for them.
Yeah, and
They've
it looks
got,
like
3,000 gold of unspent stats.
Not to mention they're already 3k down. They want this fight,
No,
but it's such a bad
they can't
decision. They
fight
catch
her.
out the Janna, but the Janna ults. You just get straight out. Leona ults in on the Katarina. They do stun her down. They get down the Fizz, but this fight is not over. Whoa, Katarina and Fizz
How
go
are they
down.
doing it?
And the ADC. UCL just won this crazy team fight.
How did that happen?
They were effectively 6k down.
Right. Let's. Do you want to jump back and have a look at that?
I go for it.
Let's jump back and have a look at that fight, right? So what happens here? Kennen gets a really great ultimate off. Really sitting in the middle of them, has the Zhonya's ready. So not many gets picked off, but manages to disengage. Mapadoso flashes in, and look at that Kennen ult. He's just shredding them. Keep
Wow.
up bullets. Exhausted. That
Yeah.
exhaust is absolutely crucial.
And what an amazing team fight. They absolutely got the priority targets. They took out the Fizz, they took out the Katarina and the ADC.
It's just what we said. Keeper of Lawless was exhausted. The whole of Katarina's ultimate was reduced damage.
That was
That
just
made
crazy.
the fight. That changed the fight.
And
actually,
again, they were effectively 6k down in that team fight. 3k down already,
Yeah.
and 3k down, 3k non-spent.
incredible. They get a second dragon.
And they get a turret after that. And if you look at the gold now, it's equal. 8, 9, 32k each. I mean, that team fight was absolutely what
UCL are ahead. The two dragons makes them ahead. And I know I keep saying I'm a support main, so I'm biased, but Mapudofu won that fight. Mapudofu on Leona. The exhaust, honestly, totally won the fight. And that was impressive play
Yeah.
from UCL, playing
Absolutely.
from behind.
I mean, that as perfect, just perfect positioning. The Ezreal's right on the outside, dealing with the damage. Kennen gets right in, gets all that damage from the ulti. It's absolutely what he wanted.
I'm still left wondering what happened, and it is exactly what you
Oh,
said.
and Fizz throws in the ult. Not able to catch anything.
Exactly what you said. If Katarina doesn't get a lot of damage off,
Yeah.
Kings don't have a lot.
Yeah, and this is the thing. 4 kills on this Katarina, 168 CS, most CS in the game right now.
3 kills on Ezreal. He's got his Iceborne Gauntlet. The Muramana.
If this Katarina doesn't get a good ulti and doesn't deal
Look
out the
at that.
damage, KCL don't have the damage to win these team fights. All of the gold is on.
618 stacks. Very close to his Muramana. That is a real power spike for UCL. It's a power spike for Ezreal, it's a power spike for Blue Team.
Yeah, but KCL are making some good moves here. They're finally pushing their advantage. You know, making use of these down turrets to get vision of the jungle and start pushing forward. And this is what they should have been doing 5-10 minutes ago when they had
Yeah.
this massive advantage.
How do you feel? If you're Keeper of Lawless, if you're playing Katarina, you feel like you're really your responsibility to carry your team. How do you feel after that fight? Do you feel slightly like, oh, I've got to be careful now?
Yeah, I mean, again, they have such a hard engage with this Leona and the Lee Sin that you just have to be careful, right? And this is the scary thing with playing Katarina is that you've got all this damage, but unless you get it off, right? You just don't do anything.
Oh, so that's Smash.
Yes.
There's me thinking I missed something on the screen, but it's the Smash players over there.
Yeah, but KCL they've made a good move here. They've controlled the bottom side of the blue team jungle.
They've purposely shown themselves on that ward and then run back towards the bush. They're going for Fnatic Janna, going for Fnatic strategy.
And oh, don't go in for it, Leona. Good. UCL played that really well. They knew they had no vision, and they
Yeah.
went through the safe route.
Yeah,
which was
absolutely.
so important because that catch would have meant a bottom.
Kennen's got teleports, split pushing in the top lane. Kennen with not a great ward to teleport to, no flank available. KCL are really dominating the bot side jungle, 2 pinks and a ward.
Yeah.
But if UCL can hold this, they're going to get a free tower top.
Yeah, and also don't forget that UCL always have the option of teleporting down the moment Sion
Yep.
leaves or one of the KCL goes back to defend that top lane.
And that's a really nice ult from Riziki. Riziki he's pushing out the mid lane now. UCL playing the minions to their advantage.
Yeah,
But we've got
and then he
coming
engage
in.
inside. Oh, gets onto the Ezreal. He gets out, he flashes out. Fizz goes on the Ezreal. Ezreal is going to get taken out eventually. Fizz gets him, but Fizz is so deep now. Fizz gets taken out. Ari lands the charm onto the Sion. Sion is so tanky, but he will slowly go down to this Ari. Katarina gets out in, and he kills off the Ari. There's only Lee Sin left, and this Katarina backs out.
Yeah, and that was a fight without Katarina. I was just wondering, when is Katarina going to come in?
And Kennen TP down, but far too late. He wasted that TP.
Nightfish's ult hit no one, and that's the difference. When your Kennen ult hits the whole team or no one, you're going to have a big difference in there. The fight was going well. Scrubby, his job is just to take out the Ezreal. Blue build and the Iceborne Gauntlet was helping him kite really quite massively. But yeah, they got drawn out. They got drawn into fighting the Scion, and Katarina got a really nice flank off.
Yeah, I mean, such a great engage there. Scion, okay,
Yeah.
he's so tanky right now. He can afford to ult in, tank a few turret shots here.
Yeah.
He got a perfect target onto the Ezreal, and then he just took him out.
Yeah, he's got a Banshee's Veil and a Randuin. He's got MR and armor. Yeah, he's not gonna die to anything. Even in that whole fight, he didn't die. So UCL have got to realize very soon they can't be using any damage, any spells on Scion.
Yeah.
It's difficult because he has so much CC, but you've got to ignore. Mapadofu, yeah, what indeed, he's kind of pushed up quite far.
Yeah, and we see both teams here starting to ward up for the dragon in 50 seconds.
Super crucial dragon. Third dragon for UCL is going to give them the movement speed buff, just what they need to get in and out.
Yeah, and KCL are not falling for the same trick twice this time. They used that trinket to check out that ward.
That was the most anticlimactic Scion ult I've ever seen.
Oh, he used the ult?
Yeah, I really thought he was just going to go charge again, and he hit the Leona and
That
backed
is
out.
a really big deal there, because Zion is, this is their tank, this is their big engage.
That's their main engage, yeah.
And with that ult down and the dragon up in 30 seconds, this could be quite bad for KCL.
And just what I was saying, KCL, they won this dragon. 6% extra damage and AP is going to be really good for them this late in this kind of mid-game area.
Yeah.
Movement speed for UCL is equally as important. They've got to pick
Oh!
up Katarina here.
And Leo
They
jumps in and
bonded
catches
it all together.
Katarina just gets burst down. He doesn't have the vision. What a pick.
So Zenith Blade straight into Chain CC. Zenith Blade into Charm into Solar Flare.
Yeah, and now,
Third dragon is theirs. There's a ward on it.
with the Katarina down.
Will Fizz try and steal it? Fizz, no. It looks like they're going to go towards mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely. KCL should just try to make some plays somewhere else here, because they cannot win this fight without the Katarina.
Incredible pick.
Yeah.
You have to think, Katarina, should she have got a Zhonya's before an Abyssal Scepter? That's my question. It's easier to say in hindsight, isn't it? But when Katarina knows she is the main target of a full CC team, Zhonya's probably would have stalled the fight long enough there for them to turn it around.
I think the bigger thing here is that we talk about vision throughout this game, and finally, they set up
play
the
the
vision,
vision,
and that's how they won.
Yeah.
You need this vision for the picks.
It's totally
right?
true.
And when we look at the KCL, the red side vision here, they don't have it set up. They set it up and die for it. Which is, this is the downfall for both of these teams here, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Katarina sitting on 400 gold, so she's not even near a Zhonya's. And that, we'll have to see how that changes the game. She will be the focus. She has to be very careful. Real emphasis kind of shifted off Fizz. I haven't seen Fizz putting out a lot of autos in these team fights anymore. Whereas the kills spread across on UCL. Kennen, 0-3, but actually has a lot of damage. Zhonya's Haunted Guys and Large Rod. They have to be wary of him as well. So.
And we do see KCL moving in now, and this is quite good. Oh, okay, good ball from
Big
Lisa.
purchases picked up on the blue team. Ezreal picking up his Blade of the Ruined King now. Ari picking up her Zhonya's. We're going to have a double Zhonya's team on night for blue team. Try the red steal.
Not quite.
A for effort.
Yeah, and we do see KCL here moving into position to siege down this bottom turret.
Back to their favorite bot lane. It is such a successful dive here earlier.
And
They're looking to really...
this bot lane, its turret is so low. They just, Sion could
Yeah.
potentially even tank up 2 or 3 turrets.
They're trying to reenact that dive that they had before. Difference is Nightfish is already here now.
Yeah.
All ultimates available apart from Ezreal.
Yeah, and this dive.
Yeah. You've got to favour KCL are the favourites here.
The problem is that they don't actually have that much wave clear outside of the Sivir. Her wave clear defensively is fine with the Ricochet, but pushing forward is not that great. And it means that it's very hard for them to siege down.
Yeah, and when you've actually got 4, well, with discounting Janna, you've got 3 out of 4 melee champions on KCL. I hadn't thought of that. Very hard to take towers when your jungler's melee, your mid lane's melee, and your top lane's melee. It becomes really hard to take those towers, and they're actually going to back out, rotate around. I think there's a bit of apprehension on the KCL side. Might be a bit worried about getting the right fight, and that's just going to stall the game later and later.
And turret diving is just, very dangerous because you've got such a hard engage here. This is exactly what UCL wants.
Yeah.
They want that hard, engage so that then they can get that team fight that they want, get all of that damage, take out the carries.
Yeah.
And that's what Lee Sin's job is: jump in the back line, kick one of the carries forward.
Yeah. In an ideal world for KCL, Sion goes in. He takes, even if he dies, if he takes up all those important spells, Katarina can mop up. That is the ideal situation for KCL. For UCL, the ideal is to back out, get engaged on. They want to back out, disengage, and then re-engage. You know, in some sort of channel, some sort of clump, so that Kennen can get all his damage off, Ari can get all AOE damage off, Ezreal can get AOE damage off. They have a lot of AOE damage. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and right now, both teams, you know, they're moving to different towers to try and siege, but they're not, they're too scared, right? And rightly
Yeah.
so. Neither team has a really strong siege composition here.
No.
You know.
KCL, as I said before, really going to find it hard to push down towers. UCL, I mean, there's not incredible wave clear, but it's actually Ari and Ezreal together can push out waves well. They're fighting with vision, but it's going to be a dangerous fight. Risking a lot just to get the vision. Charmlad's onto Sion, but it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, this Sion is just not going to
He's
take
got
damage at
Merc
this
Tread
point.
as well, so he's actually just shrugging off all CC.
Yeah, and I guess we just have to wait for the next dragon fight
Right,
in
so
2
is that
minutes.
it? Do you think that's the plan for the teams? Because dragons haven't worked out well for
Yeah.
KCL. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're not controlling the vision well enough. I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
I think the objectives make the team fight. And actually, arguably, UCL have the better team fight. They have a better team fight comp. We'll have to see how it works out for the next dragon, which, as you said, will be the next objective.
Yeah, and now we see UCL making a really good siege in the mid
Look
lane.
at the contrast when you've got a ranged top laner and mid laner compared to a melee top laner and mid laner, and they can get a tower.
And Sion is coming from the flank here. He ults in. He's going to get the. Oh, he ults into the Leona. Not the target you want. Kennen burns his ulti very early. Whoa!
Leona.
But the Katarina does survive. He gets out of that. Burns the. Oh, Ari gets taken down by the Fizz.
Fight.
Such a crazy fight. And UCL just.
Katarina mopping up here. Wow, total ace for KCL.
What a great fight from KCL there.
Yeah.
I mean, after that, Sion ult into the Leona. And
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really his fault. I think Leona did Mapado feel very good to take the ult. Katarina, again, was exhausted throughout her ult, but there's not enough damage to take her out. They have to pick her out.
well, I think here,
Oh!
they couldn't get their priority targets. We look at the Sivir, full HP.
Yeah.
She took no damage whatsoever. And the Katarina, they burned so much to try and kill her, only got her down to 50% HP.
Yeah, and I was speaking to the UCL guys before, and you know, when you look at the comps they're running, UCL, they need a pick. Their whole comp is around a pick. I said they're better in team fights. I think I lied. I'm not gonna lie. I think what they're doing better is controlling the vision. Dragon up in 8 seconds, but
Yeah.
UCL are gonna be available. They know. Oh, Banshee's popped there. They know that Sion has to back though. That's the interesting part. They know Sion has to back. They can get this 4th dragon. Then they're 1 away from
yeah.
the 3-low 5th dragon.
We do see the Janna backing as well here.
UCL, they have to rush us now. If UCL rush this, they have a chance in this game, and that's exactly what they're gonna do.
Will be scared off by the Katarina, Fizz, and Sivir.
Sion teleporting from behind. It's going to be a flank teleport they haven't seen yet.
Will they take this dragon? They
being
can't burst
pushed
it down
out.
quick enough. Yeah, and I think that's the right decision there. It would be too risky to try and take a fight there with the
UCL
dragon.
have given up
getting
the dragon
damage.
now. They're too low. They're half
Well,
HP.
they're
If they
looking to
try and
contest
steal
this.
this, they're going to die. I don't see it working out well for them.
Yeah, not to mention the Kennen ult is still down for a few seconds here.
Look at Lee Sin on the flank. He's trying to
He's
steal it. He
looking
lands
for
a
the
Q.
steal.
He's
He
going to
gets-
go
Oh!
down. Not get it.
He gets the
Great
kick onto them.
kick.
Are they going to get engaged? Leona engages into the face, doesn't get anything. Fizz kicks out the Leona. Sivir is doing so much damage right now. And and the Katarina just bursts down to Ari. Doesn't even use the Zhonya's, and that's over right there.
Yeah, we said it. I would like to tell them I told them so, but when...
All this while, the super minions are pushing down the mid lane. And
Oh, I haven't even seen that.
they
Oh,
will
wow.
take the in. They will take the
It looks like the super... they're just going to defend it in
Nexus
time.
turrets,
2 inhibitors might go down here. It's so detrimental for UCL.
and it was just the Luna went in onto the Fizz, but
It's the wrong target. So you had... It was a great kick, actually, from Lee Sin. Really nice kick.
yeah.
But the issue you have is they weren't able to lock down the correct targets. They have to lock down Katarina. They have to lock down Fizz.
Yeah.
That's what we saw was so successful for them.
And you
in
have
the
to
past.
say that the Sion is doing his job so well. As attack, he's on the front line.
0-1-11. He's got the binary score.
Yeah, and he and he's doing exactly what he needs to do. Tank up the damage, tank up the skills, and after that, you just wait for the Katarina to clean up.
Wow, we got Fizz the Devil, 666.
Wow, these scores. And this is looking very dire now. 2 exposed inhibs,
Yeah.
1 down.
UCL, they were behind and they got back into it, and I really thought they could do it. And the play style they had was get the picks, then we have an advantage, we can get objectives. They haven't been able to replicate that with anywhere near the same amount of success. And they're basically being baited. They're being baited into real 5v5, slug outs.
Yeah.
And that's the massive issue for them.
Yeah, the big thing is the team fighting, right?
Yeah.
They're not able to get the team fights that they want. They're not getting the priority targets.
They don't want a team fight, not at all. Yeah. Too many slippery targets. Katarina and Fizz are jumping around all the time.
Yeah, and if we look at the positioning, always the carries, the Sivir and the Katarina are waiting behind that Sion. It's impossible for the Ahri or the Ezreal to deal damage to these carries.
They have to be more patient.
Yeah.
UCL need to be more patient here because they are, even in that last fight, we saw Ahri charming Sion, and it's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
They need to show some restraint in these team fights. They're playing a comp which requires them to back out when they need to and go in when they need to.
Yeah.
And so far, they're not picking the right situations.
Yeah, and KCL, kudos to them. They're playing very well. The positioning is, perfect right now. And they are, positioning here now to take this final in here. Then they'll probably go to take the Baron and finish off the game.
And I think the biggest contest, this inhibitor's gone. If UCL defend this, because there's no tower, it's not going to be a dive. It's so hard for UCL to defend this. And KCL know that. They're going to slowly walk in. They're going to let the super minions push up mid.
Yeah.
This should be a free inhibitor.
And you can see, look at this Ezreal. He doesn't have the mana here to take a fight that they can potentially
Chump the
win.
Water is down, and actually UCL take this as their signal to go in.
Oh, and
they charm the Sion again, and he's not.
Sivir is doing so much damage. Fizz jumps into the back line. He's going to get this cannon, in fact. Cannon gets burst down the front line. And Lee Sin goes in, he gets killed by the Sivir, and again, the carries have just not been touched right now.
It's what we said before.
Oh, and the Katarina flushes in, gets the ulti, finishing off with the Sivir.
Triple kill. GG, well played. It was a classic case of KCL playing their comps very well.
Yeah.
KCL
Ezreal gets fighting, final kill.
Well played both teams.
GG.
Damn, that's upsetting as a UCL. As a member of UCL, it's upsetting, but KCL played really well there. And
that was a great. To see the team comp went so well after they lost that first team fight.
The better team won there.
Yeah, absolutely. And congrats to both teams.
I think a big round of applause for our players coming in now. Firstly, the defeated UCL team and the victorious KCL team coming in. Very well played.
No, I can't. Oscar! I'll take
Oscar, you're being... Okay, never mind.
So, we're going to get a quick interview here with one of the KCL players, Charlie. Charlie, tell us, Charlie, where were you playing in that game?
I was mostly behind towers, ulting.
What position?
I was top.
Top. So you were that Zion who was taking up all of the damage.
Yeah.
Some really great positioning there. What was going through your mind when you played that game?
Mainly, how can I hit as many of them as possible with a Sion ult? Because when you ult as a Sion, if you miss, if you hit one person and there are other people too far back, you won't have any effect on them. And also, just to block all the Lee Sin queues coming into our hyper carry Katarina, which is Oscar. So I just wanted to keep him safe so that he could actually clean up, which he did.
Absolutely, and if we go back to that first team fight, I don't know if you remember, when you were positioning for that first dragon, I think.
Yeah.
Katarina got completely burst out, right?
Yeah,
and
and
we lost that first team fight.
We had no, I don't do damage as Sion. I didn't get a single kill that game, I don't think, and that's not my job, and my job is to protect Katarina, so it was my fault that I wasn't face checking, If I face check a bush, I don't die because I'm too tanky. The team will jump on me, and then my team can collapse in behind them, so...
what were you thinking at that point? Because before that fight, you were 6k up. You must have known that you were quite far ahead at that point.
Do you mean at the dragon fight?
Yeah, you were 6k up, and then after this fight, it was even on go. So this fight was really big for UCL to get back into this. What was going through your mind right there?
Well, I immediately identified the fact that we can't let Katarina get burst down, and that we can't, I said to Oscar, you've got to not face check, let me face check, and it was a complete accident, and I was kind of thinking, how can I best stop any kind of skill shot hitting
Yeah.
my team, and in future fights that I've got to be the one that goes in first.
Absolutely.
So
And then if we move down later to the game, when you had the sieging down the bottom turret and you ulted in under turret fire and you got that kill to Ezreal. I mean, what was the plan there? Was it you'd been sieging this turret for about a minute now?
well, we knew we were ahead and we had worse siege, and we also knew that with my build I wasn't going to die. So even if I did, I would still have I'd be reborn and be able to still do DPS to everyone.
Yeah.
And again, my life in the battles is insignificant. I just wanted to keep Katarina alive and our Sivir alive, so they could basically tear through the enemy team, which is the plan. So I thought, if I engage, I'll definitely take aggro. I'll be able to CC at least 2 of them, and then we could win the team fight.
I was going to ask, you're playing against Kennen in the top lane, so typically, Sion, you want to stack armor, you want to rush Frozen Heart. How did you change your itemization? How did you think that was going to go down?
Well, I started with an armor item that also gives health, because you need armor more than magic resist as Scion, and if I went Frozen Heart I would be getting purely armor and mana, so starting Randuin's gave me health and armor, so it didn't negate the magic damage from Kennen, but it certainly made me a lot harder to kill. So at the point when Lee Sin came top, they just didn't have the damage to kill me before I just ulted out of the gank and got to safety.
Were you asking for ganks? Did you say to your jungler, "Hey, I want some ganks because I want to be
It was the Kennen was a very aggressive player, and you can't play aggressive versus a Scion because you can't kill the Scion. Even if you get ganked, he's immune to CC and his ult, he just leaves. So
that's what happened.
That's
exactly what happened.
the worst thing that Kennen could have done is played a passive lane and kept me top, because my team, Scion was kind of Katarina and Scion were the key pieces in that team. I had to be there to disrupt, and Katarina had to be there to DPS. And so, because the Kennen was being so aggressive, I'm very easy to just walk in and start attacking him, and then he'll think he'll get the kill on me. And the time that our jungler, Pi, came top as Fizz, he just completely deleted the Kennen, because Kennen had been building no defense at all and had used most of his abilities to CS, and that was intended to be a duo gank, and Kennen just got immediately killed.
If you had to give one MVP of the game and one MVP of UCL, what would be the 2 you'd give? I assume the game would be a Kings player, so...
Well, I'd say if I had to give an MVP from each team, it would undoubtedly be Katarina in our team, because the mechanical skill to pull off the plays that Oscar, our Katarina, did was just phenomenal. Theoretically, there are so many pentas waiting there, and when we knew we'd won, when we had the enemy team low, there was then me as the wall and our team behind me, because as soon as they try and do anything to me, I CC them and they just straight away follow up. So without a doubt, the MVP on our team would have probably been Katarina. In terms of their team, their Lee Sin jungle was really quite on point. He had there was 2 distinct points where he used his dragon kick to massively disrupt our team fights, and really,
the one on the dragon, wasn't there? You got like 3 of you.
Yeah, and we were purely lucky that I think he followed that up with a Q, which I then got. So they couldn't get they had the CC there, but they couldn't then bring the damage in, because I have a huge hitbox. I was standing in the way, and his Qs and Lee Sin Qs wouldn't get past me. So if they had me out the way, if they had a way of moving me, such as the Janna ult, the main reason we picked Janna was to counter the Kennen, so as soon as Kennen ulted, we'd move Kennen out of the team fight. Without that, they could have moved me in and followed up, but the Lee Sin was he hit a lot of Qs, he had a solid early game. I didn't actually see the first blood go down, because I was too busy warding our red side, but I think Lee Sin had a big part to play in that as well, so...
Absolutely. Any more questions, or are you happy?
No, I'm good. Is there anything you want to say for the few people here?
No, your loyal fans.
No, I think it was a really good game, and I think honestly, it's like, I know UCL's main teams can't play today, so I think it's very noble they've put together these teams for us to play against, and
absolutely.
I am one of the UCL's main teams. So I would love to get a game in time.
There's King of the Capital coming up, so that'll be epic to play. But in general, it's just They did very well for a team that's not been...
they haven't never played together.
A quick shout out to the 10 players from UCL here. They, some random guys who got together, they were willing to play here today, come out on this Sunday, end of term. So, great props to them.
But
no practice.
KCL ultimately definitely the better team.
Yeah.
Really quite slick when it came down to it.
I think the main 2 problems we had were that I missed 2. Well, there was one ult that I hit the tower, which was just a significant fail. and the other time I saw them all in a
Yeah.
bush, and I just went straight for them because I thought that's a 5-man
Oh, yeah.
knock-up. And whilst I got the knock-up, we couldn't follow it up, but they also couldn't return any damage because I had actually CC'd virtually the whole team. So that was my fault. And then, I mean, I think we need to work on generally rotations. My rotation is bad. I need to learn to rotate better.
No, but I mean, a great game played, and yeah, there you go. Thank you for coming down today.
No worries, it's been a pleasure. Cheers.
Absolutely great.